morning, boys and girls, ladies and gents. This is Genviève, and you are on Genvièv TV, your channel for forensic and clinical education. And this morning, for the first time ever on Genviève TV and on Facebook Live, I've decided, since I was guiding the mindfulness practice for the Portland DBT clinic lately and received such beautiful, heartwarming enthusiasm for it, I decided to share this practice with all of you, and hopefully we'll be able to make it a regular happening on Sundays on Facebook Live and on Mondays on Genviève TV. So for those of you who are missing it right now live, don't worry, it'll be airing tomorrow morning on Genviève TV, youtube.com/Genviève TV. So make sure you subscribe and you join. It's free, of course, so that you'll be able to participate in these wonderful events that are so needed for stress release, reconnecting with your truth, reconnecting with your life energy, the energy of life that is blossoming and circulating within your body. So whenever you are ready, simply make yourself comfortable. I'm going to chime the start. And whenever you're ready, gently close your eyes and take a gentle breath in. And as you do, sending that breath deep within your belly, feeling your belly inflating with the breath, holding it there for as long as you can. And then releasing with the exhale. And as you do, send a beautiful wave of relaxation from the top of your head all the way down your body, out through your toes, noticing all of your tissues, cells, tendon, muscles relax and release. And relaxing even deeper still with each easy breath you take, each and every word you hear me say. You may notice extra sounds around you as we continue on with this session. And you'll notice that unless they deserve and need your immediate response, those sounds around you will not disturb you in any way. On the contrary, they'll simply allow you to continue relaxing and releasing every stress, every tension, every aggravation, every worry that is no longer necessary for you to hold on. Even deeper still, as you continue focusing on the sound of my voice and the sound of your own breathing, which helps you to relax even deeper still. And if you can focus on your feet and toes, noticing how loose, limp, relaxed, rested, and comfortable they can be. When you relax your feet and toes, they reach that physical quality of relaxation. You can't make it happen, but you can allow it to happen. There's a subtle difference there, kind of a stepping back from yourself and noticing your feet and toes reach that physical quality of relaxation. And then allowing that physical quality of relaxation in your feet and toes to unfold and extend and expand through your ankles and legs, knees and thighs, hips and waist, torso, shoulders, neck, scalp and face, and down your arms, wrists, hands and fingers, allowing your body to settle, to sink into the seat underneath you, safe, supported, nothing for your body to do right now. Simply be as your mind continues to drift while listening to the sound of my voice and the sound of your own breathing, which helps you to relax even deeper still. And then bringing that physical quality of relaxation to your eyes and eyelids and focusing on relaxing every layer, every level, every tissue, every tendon, every depth of your eyes and eyelids so much, so deeply, so completely and entirely that your eyelids are beginning to become limp, loose, relaxed and comfortable, almost as if they were becoming like snow, melting under the summer sun, softening, loosening, liquefying so deeply that you can begin to feel the weight of your eyelashes themselves, so relaxed and so loose, weighing heavily onto your cheeks, and your eyes sinking softly into their sockets, peaceful, safe, tranquil, and comfortable. until the mere thought of opening your eyelids starts to seem utterly exhausting, as if the more you would try to open them, the deeper relaxed you'd find them to be, the more comfortably close together they would remain. And when you feel your eyelids have reached that state of relaxation so deeply that the more you try to open them, the deeper relaxed they continue being, the more comfortably close together they remain. When you feel they've reached that depth, give them a nice good test to make sure they won't open. And when you've tested them, you can stop testing and allow that physical quality of relaxation in your eyelids to unfold and extend and expand to the rest of your face and down your entire body, out through your toes, allowing your body to once again sink into the seat underneath you, safe, supported. Nothing for your body to do right now. Simply be as your mind continues to drift while listening to the sound of my voice and the sound of your own breathing, which helps you to relax even deeper still. And in a moment, I'll count from 1 to 3. And this time, as I reach the count of 3, allowing your eyelids to flutter open for just a moment, opening and closing them right back down. And as you do, allowing this brief fluttering of your eyelids to bring you 10 times deeper relaxed than you already are right now. 10 times deeper, physically, mentally, and emotionally, into a wonderfully comfortable state of peace, tranquility, safety, and relaxation. So 1, 2, 3, open and close 10 times deeper. We'll do this again, and this time allowing this brief fluttering of your eyelids to bring you twice as deep, double the relaxation, both in your mind and body, a deep quality of tranquility, peace, serenity, and relaxation. 1, 2, 3, open and close twice as deep. And we'll do this once again, and this time allowing this brief fluttering of your eyelids to bring you all the way down deep into a comfortable state of peace, tranquility, safety, and serenity. 1, 2, 3, open and close all the way down deep. Excellent. And now for your mental relaxation. In a moment, I'll begin counting backwards from 100 out loud. And as I do, simply imagine these numbers transformed or attached to birds, if you prefer, birds that have been trapped in the room of your mind. So for a second, for a moment here, imagine that room of your mind being the most beautiful sanctuary place that you can possibly envision. Your own personal sanctuary. Nobody else in there, just you. And as you imagine that sanctuary, there is no right or wrong. You make it your own personal space. Your brain, your mind controls everything from the heartbeat in your body to your circulation, your emotion, the way you respond and react to the world around you. So your mind truly is your control tower. So as a control tower, operational headquarters, if you wish, imagine that beautiful space surrounded by beautiful wide windows that give you visibility over everything and anything around you. And as you begin counting with me, I'd like you to imagine these numbers being transformed or attached to birds that have been trapped in the room of your mind. And as birds do when they're trapped in a room, they're flying around in circles, hitting the walls, the windows, flapping their wings, making all this noise, all this commotion, trying to find a way out. If you think about it for a moment, it really corresponds to how we feel when we have negative thoughts, negative sensations, negative emotions trapped in the room of our mind. Some people call that a sensation of broken records, as they tend to spin in place over and over and over, making so much commotion that it's difficult for us to operate efficiently. A bit as if we had birds in a room that were flying around in circles. Of course, our priority would be to let those birds out so we can, first of all, they can be safe. And secondly, we can focus efficiently and peacefully on what we ought or wish to do at that moment in time. So as I begin counting, imagine stepping into that room of your mind and very simply pushing the windows wide open, feeling the contact of the wood of the windows as you push them wide open. In France, we push windows out. In America, you tend to push windows up. Wherever you are in the world at this moment, do whatever works for you. Noticing the sense of the fresh air rushing in the room as you open those windows, the temperature of the air, the sense maybe of the rain the night before that cleaned everything. And as you do that, feel, sense, envision, and imagine these birds doing what birds do when we open windows to a room where they've been trapped. In the blink of an eye, they're right out of that room. They're not going to go one at a time. They simply lift off, spread, and stretch their wings, and you can watch them fly over your head, their bellies, their feathers, their wings, through the open windows into the clear blue sky, exhilarated by the recovery of their freedom. So doing this together, 100, double your mental relaxation. 99, relaxing deeper and deeper. 98, getting ready to release those birds, those numbers. 97, open the windows. Watch them fly away, all together as a flock, over your head, through the open windows, into the clear blue sky, exhilarated by the recovery of their freedom. And when they're all gone, you can close back the windows, turn back around, and you'll notice that peace, that tranquility, that silence, and that serenity that you have restored in the room of your mind. And when you allow this to happen, you'll notice how good this feels. So we never lose anything when we do this. It's a bit like a spring cleaning. Of course, we never lose the knowledge, understanding, or comprehension of numbers, of course not, or anything else for that matter that we release from our mind. It's a bit like if you had a room filled with clutter and you decided to cleanse that room to restore its beauty, its peace, its serenity, its energy, feng shui, energy flow. And take all this clutter, put it in a shed or in another room or in a garage. Nothing is lost. It's simply relocated. So what we're doing here is a spring cleaning of that room of your mind whenever you need to recover your peace, your clarity, your tranquility, your serenity, so that you can then better respond and react to anything that's unfolding around you from a place of peace. And when you do this by yourself, simply flash those numbers in your mind, silently and privately. That allows you to do it even in the midst of a conversation if need be. And to continue with your mental relaxation, if you can imagine in your mind walking down a forest path, your own personal space, nobody else around, just you. And as you're walking down this forest path, you may notice some of the details, like the feel of the path beneath your feet, the quiet sound of your footsteps upon the path, the quiet forest sounds around you, the smell of the fresh air as if there had been a rain the night before that cleaned everything. And as you're walking up ahead, there's a clearing. In the middle of that clearing is a pond of cool, clear, fresh, clean water with a smooth surface. And the path goes down to the edge of the pond where there's a big flat rock you can sit down onto. And as you sit on that rock, you can feel the warmth of the rock underneath your legs. Right around your feet, you notice some pebbles, and you can pick up a few of these pebbles with one hand. And with the other hand, you take a single pebble, feel its weight, its texture, its warmth, and you can throw that pebble out onto the pond, watching the splash it makes, hearing the sound of that splash, and watching the ripples as they move away from that splash. And as the ripples move across the pond, they spread out further and further, and they get slower and slower, and they get smaller and smaller still until they disappear, and the pond returns to being smooth, flat, calm, and quiet. Take a second pebble and throw it out onto the pond, watching the splash, watching the ripples, and a third pebble and watching under the cool, clear, fresh, clean water as the pebble rocks back and forth, slowly settling down to the bottom of the pond where it quietly rests. And back onto your rock, you can lay back on the rock, feel the warmth of the rock beneath you. And with your eyes closed, take another gentle breath in. And as you exhale, send a nice big wave of that wonderful relaxation once again from the top of your head all the way down your body, out through your toes, noticing your body resting comfortably, safely supported. Nothing for your body to do right now. Simply be as your mind continues to drift while listening to the sound of my voice and the sound of your own breathing, which helps you to relax even deeper still. And in a moment, I'll count from 1 to 5, and we'll keep deepening this relaxation even further. So it'll go like this: 1, deeper, relaxed, and 2, your mind calm, clear, quiet. 3, your body relaxing more peacefully still. 4, as if your mind were aware of your body going to sleep. And 5, this nice sort of stepping back, letting go feeling. And you can imagine, if you wish, as you're sitting, laying there on that warm rock by the edge of the pond, looking at the pond in front of you, that beautiful clear water. And there are all these ripples and reflections over the surface. And what reflections are basically optical illusions created by light and the proximity of those things around the pond. And yet, as optical illusions, they are blinding us from the truth of what is the reality, the depth, the clarity of that pond, the water, what is at depth, none of which we can see when we're blinded by the reflections at the surface of the pond. As you're sitting on your warm rock, maybe dipping your toes into the cool water and leaning forward, you may even see the reflection of your own face right there, staring right back at you from the surface of the pond. Notice how distracting these reflections are. They're actually blinding us from the truth of what is. And yet, if you take those pebbles and you throw them upon the surface, those reflections will break apart and then come back together. Your very demonstration that reflections are not real, they're simply optical illusions. And this is exactly what's happening when we are surrounded in day-to-day life by others, as we are. We're constantly observing reflections of their own issues, their own sensations, their own wounds, their own limitations, their own fears, insecurities, their own sense of inadequacy, maybe their own feelings of insecurities, maybe. And as they are, they're reflecting those internal issues upon us. And when people are acting in ways that are very abrasive, abusive, harmful to us, all they're doing is basically reflecting a reflection of their own wounds, their own issues, none of which has anything to do with you, with your worth, with your value, with your uniqueness. You know that they could have a gem in front of them. When they're distracted by the reflections of their own issues, they wouldn't be able to see it. So just remember that when you are faced with abrasive behavior, remember that you're witnessing a reflection or reflections of other people's issues around you that have nothing to do with you. And to help you with that, you can imagine simply diving to the depth of that crystal clear pond, entering the water splashing all around you, noticing the temperature of that water as it splashes all around you. And if you decide to descend to depth, to dive to the depth of that crystal clear water, being perfectly able to breathe, you can imagine that you're wearing ultra efficient, super light scuba equipment that allows you to breathe easily and effortlessly under the surface. Or if you prefer, you can imagine that you transform into a sea turtle, a seal, a fish, a dolphin, a mermaid or a merman, whatever you decide, because at that level of the mind, you are the producer of your own animated motion picture. And the moment you descend underneath the surface, what's happening first is you enter the world of zero gravity. Your body is cradled lovingly, nurturingly by the beautiful water, most powerful element on the planet, and yet entirely non-resistant. Beautiful peace, serenity, and radical acceptance of water, which accepts anything that enters it and surrounds it and moves around it in absolute non-resistance, radical acceptance. and descending all the way to depth, hovering at depth in perfect clarity, noticing that from your place at depth, the reflections no longer exist. If you look far back up at the surface, all you'll see is that chrome undulating ceiling, keeping you protected and safe from anything and everything that's happening up there. And from your place at depth, you know that ripples and reflections, they come, they go, they leave you unaffected. The biggest storm could be happening up at the surface. And when you're swimming through that storm, if you're staying at the surface, it'll be scary, it'll be demanding, it's adversity. It will never take from who you are, quite the opposite. It builds muscle, it builds resistance, it builds skill. Those of us who have traversed the most extreme adversity are expanded, never diminished by the adversity that surrounds us. And so that adversity is difficult. When you're swimming through it, you can think, I'm not going to make it, I'm not going to make it, it's too difficult, I'm not going to make it. But yet, you are life. As life, you are indestructible. And when you decide to dive to depth, simply going to the depth and waiting it out, press your two fingers, notice the peace and the serenity surrounding you, the clarity of that water, the tint. It could be transparent, it could be blue, it could be green, it could be aurora borealis of multiple lights and effects. The silence and peace, the gentle cradling motion of that water surrounding you, embracing you, loving you, nurturingly, like the most loving, motherly energy. And imagine what it would be to become that water, to become that peace, what it would feel like to become that expansive, non-resistant serenity. And as you press your two fingers together, we're anchoring that peace in your deep subconscious mind. Anytime you need to reconnect, to recover, to descend to that peace, all you need to do is make yourself comfortable wherever you are. Take a gentle breath in. Send that wave of relaxation from head to toes, cleansing, flushing out anything and everything that is not of itself. Close your eyes if you can safely do so at any moment of your life, because you can also do this with your eyes wide open while you remain fully in control, responsive, and aware of what's going on around you. That state, by the way, only increases our awareness, never takes away from it. And as you press your two fingers, you'll be right back there to the depth of that crystal clear water, perfectly at peace. So in a moment, I'll count from 1 to 3. And as I reach the count of 3, you'll come back to the surface. 1, 2, 3. And to the warm rock by the edge of the pond. 1, 2, 3. And you can imagine wrapping yourself in a warm, fuzzy, comfy, terry towel so you're nice and warm. And in a moment, I'll count from 1 to 5. And as I reach the count of 5, you'll come back to the room with that peace, with that serenity, with this recalibration of your brain chemistry, because at this state, we're operating very powerful, very beneficial changes in the chemical and hormonal balance in our brain. We see that with electroencephalograms of the brain in that state, opening the floodgates, flushing out adrenaline, cortisol, other highly inflammatory stress hormones, and boosting our mind, our body, with all the good feeling hormones, endorphins, dopamine, norepinephrines, our natural opiate system in our body, recharging our immune system, revivifying our life force, and restoring, replenishing, so we can be calmer, more joyful, and better able to respond to the world around us. So 1, coming back to the room. 2, mind clear and alert. 3, at the count of 5, your eyes will open. They'll feel as though they've been bathed in a cool stream of mountain fresh water, cleansed, restored, vivified. 4, wide awake, looking forward to enjoying this beautiful Easter Sunday and your beautiful week ahead, filled with peace, serenity, and wellness. And 5, eyes open, stretch, and notice how good you feel. So thank you for joining me, everybody. Hello, Jagoda. Yes, Thibaut. My hair is crazy at the moment. Let me tell you why. Actually, let me respond to this. Let me tell you why. It's simply because I've been swim training every single day for an hour every day in the Olympic pool near me, and so my hair is having a is having a crazy reaction. So thank you all for joining me today. It's a pleasure leading this mindfulness practice with you. We can rotate exercise every time and switch and change. So every time you join me here, you'll experience another version of our mindfulness exercises. And I wanted to let you know that last week, this last week on Wednesday, I was interviewed by Dr. Shelley Stockwell Nicholas from California on neuroplasticity and my work in criminal cases, and notably in a forensic investigation on a drug-facilitated sexual assault, DFSA. And so we're talking about brain plasticity, brain rewiring. This will be released shortly on her channel. And later, once she releases it, I'll release it on my YouTube channel. And this coming week, we're meeting again. This time, I will be interviewing Dr. Shelley from California on an incredible and truly extraordinary modality that she and I discussed last week on Wednesday that allows us to bring immediate, rapid, and lasting relief to severe migraines and migraine headaches. So you definitely won't want to miss that. So if you haven't done so already, join us on youtube.com/Genvièv TV. Subscribe, it's free. There's a red button there. It'll let you know when we're going live. And then, of course, share your comments, your questions, your feedback on the videos. You're becoming, when you do so, a live part of our vibrant community for empowerment, for wellness, health, and recovering your truth after the obliteration of adversity. So thank you all for joining me today. I will see you again very shortly this coming week on youtube.com/Genvièv TV. And until then, everybody, have a beautiful, beautiful remainder of your Easter weekend.